Have you ever felt unworthy? Like no matter how hard you try, you keep falling short? I have good news for you today. There is something greater than your failures, stronger than your past, and more powerful than your weakness. It's called grace. Grace is God's unmerited favor. It's His love reaching out to us even when we don't deserve it. And today, I want to take you on a journey to discover the life-changing power of grace. Grace is not something we earn. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 2 verses 8 to 9, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast." This means God's grace is a gift, not a reward for being good, not a prize for perfection, but a free gift of His love and mercy. The Greek word for grace in the New Testament is charis, kairo iota, which means favor, blessing, or kindness. In Hebrew, the word often associated with grace is chesed, which refers to God's steadfast love and mercy. Grace is God's divine empowerment. It not only saves us, but also strengthens and enables us to live a life that pleases Him. Let me tell you a story from the Bible, the story of the prodigal son, Luke 15 verses 11 to 32. A young man demanded his inheritance, left home, and wasted everything in reckless living. When he had nothing left, he decided to return to his father, hoping to be treated as a servant. But what did his father do? Instead of punishing him, he ran to him, embraced him, and restored him. That's grace. God is not waiting to condemn you. He is waiting to embrace you. Another example is the woman caught in adultery. The religious leaders wanted to stone her, but Jesus responded, "He who is without sin among you, let him throw a stone at her first." John 8 verse 7. One by one her accusers left. Then Jesus told her, "Neither do I condemn you. Go and sin no more." John 8 verse 11. This is the essence of grace. Jesus does not condemn us, but His grace also calls us to a changed life. Paul, from persecutor to apostle, Acts 9. Saul, later called Paul, was a fierce persecutor of Christians. Yet, God showed him grace, turning him into one of the greatest apostles of all time. Paul later wrote in 1 Corinthians 15 verse 10, "But by the grace of God I am what I am, and His grace toward me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me." Grace transforms us, takes sinners and turns them into saints. Grace is not just a doctrine, it is a way of life. It saves us when we come to Christ, transforms us into His image. It strengthens us in our struggles, teaches us to live for God. If you've never experienced God's grace, today is the day to receive it. And if you have, keep walking in it, extending it to others, and growing deeper in the knowledge of Jesus Christ. Maybe you feel like you've messed up too much for God to love you. But Romans 5 verse 20 says, "Where sin increased, grace abounded much more." No matter how far you've fallen, God's grace is greater. It lifts you up, washes you clean, and gives you a fresh start. The question is, will you receive His grace? Will you allow His love to transform you? If you've been running from God, today is the day to come back. His arms are open. His grace is waiting. If this message touched your heart, let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear more life-changing messages, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's walk in God's grace together. God bless you.